Alright, screw it. This was supposed to be on a different topic, but I'm on my 4th rewrite of that script, so tonight we're going to talk about bones. Bones. How many do you have? More than the average person, I bet. Hopefully not too many more than that, though. Bosch has 9. Contact points are pretty simple, actually. You see all this mess? It's just a texture. The only thing that matters to the physics engine is this invisible, somewhat strange video game adjacent mechanic that doesn't quite act how you would think. Stop me when you've heard this one. When a point is in a gravity well, it's moved to the surface of the line, gaining that much velocity in pixels per frame, stretching the bones and pulling the rest of Bosch and the sled along with it over the course of each iteration. That being said, here's a magic trick. There are 10 points in total, and they each have a name: shoulder, hand, string, nose, feet, Stanley, and peg. The peg, butt, and shoulder have a lot of friction, the hands have a little, and the rest are frictionless. This sometimes causes problems, but we'll get into that later. These lines here are Bosch's bones. Ignore the fact that they're identical to the frame of the sled. That's an uncomfortable truth that we've all learned to live with. Much like your bones, they'll break if they stop being in the shape of a human. For the most part. In general, Bosch will dismount when the feet go above the butt above the peg and string, or the feet or butt below the nose and Stanley. There's more ways to die than that, but those are the most common, and that being said, here's a magic trick. This is probably a good time to talk about the weird parts. Line hitboxes only affect points moving away from the line's surface, so this is possible because Bosch is moving toward the line. If he went in any other direction, at any other point, things would get messed up real fast. And this is what's called a fakie. It happens when contact points switch places. There are 3 possible fakie positions, but this is the only one that's survivable. I personally don't know a lot about working with fakies because I avoid them like the plague, but as a consequence of how Bosch's bones pull on each other, perpetual energy. Although technically rotation doesn't exist in Line Rider, but this video is already complicated as it is. Speaking of weird things caused by the bones, are 2 dimensions too complicated for you? The cramule is a really popular trick among people who know how to do quirk. It allows every contact point to be affected by a single line all at once. And after about a decade of research, the community has discovered that Bosch is in an immense amount of pain, but will never truly see the release of death that he seeks. The cramule is possible because Bosch's bones are all in the same linear coordinate, so all of the forces trying to push the points into place can't push up or down, resulting in a stable position. But I think 1 dimension is honestly a bit overrated. Let's get rid of it. This is the singularity. Every contact point is in one place and can be shot off in any direction at a moment's notice. It's essentially a 10-point cannon, but using the eldritch powers of tic-tac-toe. However, unlike cramules, singularities are not stable beyond the frame they're made. Friction desyncs the contact points, meaning you can't hold a singularity together without lines on each frame under normal conditions. That being said, here's a magic trick. Don't hold your breath for me to explain this one. It's way beyond my pay grade. What happened? Right, okay. We were talking about contact points, not that. There's so much I want to say about contact points, but I didn't because I don't want to make a video that long. So to bring it back a step, I want to talk a little bit about game design. Contact points are just so weird to me conceptually. The choices that went into gravity wells and the development of points are obviously linked, but even when taken out of the simple riding lines use case that they were made for, this system just works so well. For almost all quirk, you're able to draw lines that are surprisingly large given how precise movement can be. And even if you get to the point where that you need to make 0.01 width hitboxes, contact points are spaced out enough that you never really need to worry about overlap. There's so many pieces interacting with each other that are absolutely invisible to a casual user, but can easily be peeled back to make increasingly complicated challenges and visuals. It's just nuts that this is underlying code for a Flash game. There's genuine depth here, and it's basically all on accident. All these pieces that were made for going on a canvas with a pencil tool also work flawlessly for going for half the lines and 4 times the hours. That's kind of cool. I'm just gonna end it here. I don't really have anything else to say. Have a good one.